Hello and good evening, everyone. We are back. And as you could probably tell, this week we actually have a topic that we're going to attempt to stick to some way. Uh, so we got a few comments in here already. GK, good to see you. Jade, good to see you as well. Anthony, welcome back. Shar, good to see you. And happy Sunday to you as well. Okay. So we do have a few announcements we need to get through before we actually jump into the shenanigans and the topic and all those wonderful things. Okay, so some of these are going to be pretty fun. First off, we are wanting to start a new fan art spotlight where so many of you do fan art and different things and you send them to me. And the ideal here is if you do some artwork or whatnot that's in relative to one of the videos we've done, me, or something to do with the channel for fun, submit it to us via the email or join the Gilded community, and you can direct message it to me specifically or one of the admin, in which case we will compile it and we're going to try and start spotlighting those through the videos. So by all means, if you are artistic in any shape, form, or fashion and you want to show off your love of the channel, what we do, or the topics, submit it. We will ask that you kind of keep it within the PG-13-ish area so that it is family-ish friendly, please. But if for some reason you have artwork that doesn't fit that and you still want to share it, go ahead. We just cannot guarantee we can spotlight it. Because I'm not going to, I'm not going to stunt anyone's creativity. And I know that may come to bite me in the rear later, but hey, we do what we do. All right, next. This is the big one. This is one everybody's been waiting on. The live workshops over at the Teachable Community will be starting on June 1st. The first workshop, which will be research, journaling, and metaphysical research, will be live for signups later this week. I will actually be doing a video and releasing the video, letting you all know that it is live for signups, because apparently that is the only way I can guarantee YouTube will send out notifications. You know how that is. We will also be posting in the members area. Usually the members will get those notifications, as well as in the members area of Gilded. Now, Tier 2 and Tier 3 channel members will get a 24-hour head notice on the notification. Sorry, Jade, I meant July 1st. You know what? That's the second time today I've done that. My wife got me on that too. Thank you. I mean July. I do mean July. July 1st, okay? So the signups will start later this week. I have to finish building the page. The class is already. I'm just building the page. I'm hoping to have that video and everything up by tomorrow or Tuesday, but I do not have a specific date, so I'm just going to say later this week. But we are going to be starting the live workshops. Now, I know I told you all the live workshops would be $15 a seat. Since this is our first live workshop, and they are very much inspired by our viewers and your all's desire to learn, we are going to do a first workshop introductory price of $10 for everybody. Okay? And that is everybody. Now, Tier 2 and Tier 3 YouTube members, some of these workshops will be uploaded as member-only videos after they're done live. So the replays will be uploaded after they're done live. Not all of them, but some of them. Okay? It is limited to 20 seats. We can only do these particular live streams with 20 seats currently. So there is a limited seat. So when you see that announcement, if you're interested, get in there and get it quick. That's why I'm letting you know today, even though I haven't finished, because that's only the fair way to do it, is let you know it's going to be live this week. And yes, the actual live stream will be July 1st. CJ, see, I'm learning. But I want to give you all the notice. And we are going to keep these live workshops as absolutely affordable as we can. We will not go over the $15 amount. That said, the next thing that I need to talk about is sadder. Sorry. Mugs up for that. Let's have a little emotional support beverage, coffee. Okay, Patreon has been, they've been a butt. They are giving us a lot of privacy issues. They are giving us a lot of posting issues. They are giving us a lot of issues with content and the perks and everything that we are trying to um, give to our members via Patreon. Now, I know some people prefer Patreon over YouTube, but at this point in time, it is getting worse and worse, and it looks like we may actually have to slowly filter out the Patreon. So, within the next 1 to 3 months, expect the Patreon to potentially close. So, if you are a Patreon member and you do want to support the channel, do move over to the YouTube channel memberships, okay? I do apologize for the inconvenience. This is completely out of my control. But they are not allowing us to give the perks and benefits to the members that we are trying to do. We've been trying to contact and find out why they're doing this or what's an issue, if it's a platform wide or what. So far, I've not really been able to get a lot of answers or whatnot. Maybe I'm just too stupid to use the platform. I don't know. But that seems unlikely because it was working before. So go figure. But with that said, that is something I do need to make you all aware of. So if you are on Patreon, try to switch over to the YouTube channel memberships. And if you are considering supporting us in the future, again, YouTube memberships would be the best way to do it. So we do appreciate that. With that, we do have, of course, super chats here. Once we get into the topic, if you have a topic-specific question, you can do a super chat to make sure it flashes really big and to make sure it doesn't get lost in the shuffle, because we have already got 21 people in here tonight, and I'm not even 70 or 10 minutes into talking, which is freaking amazing. By the way, speaking of which, if you are here, give us the thumbs up. The algorithm loves the thumbs up. Give us the thumbs up. We got 7 thumbs ups and 21 people, so we're really slacking on the thumbs up. Let the algorithm know you actually like this crazy old mage, Southern mage up in here. Got that covered. Got that covered. I reminded you of the super chats of YouTube without thinking about it. Do remember we do have an online school. If you are interested in courses, we are adding a lot of courses. We are currently working on getting a full evocation course working. I'm hoping to have that up by fall. So pray for me. Hope nothing goes wrong. We do have a gilded community. Jade, if you have the link for the gilded community, drop that so people can find us, because right now that is one of the best ways to communicate with us. Secondly, Facebook is being they're being a bigger butt than Patreon. I cannot seem to be able to approve members or anything through the sites. They let me post videos that I do, but they don't let me communicate with my members. So I do apologize if you are finding the Facebook page and whatnot. Honestly and truly, the best way to keep up to date with information is through the Gilded site. We may end up having to close the Facebook page. I know some people do who are currently there. They look to Facebook for the videos, so I do still post them. But if you're considering joining the community, go to Gilded over Facebook, because I have not been able to get this problem sorted out, and it's been going on for, God, probably 6 months now. It's been a pain. I know people said I've been Zuckerberged or whatever the hell they want to call that. I don't know. I'm not going to get into conspiracies. I just know that from a business standpoint, a community standpoint, it's not working, especially the community. And that's the part that's bothering me. It's not allowing me to communicate with the people who are trying to get the information, stay up to date, and communicate. That's the part that's bothering me. So far, Gilded has been wonderful on that. True, their video voice chat's not as good as Discord's was, but Discord done us wrong, so in the story. But as far as their text updates and stuff like that, they've been beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So yeah. All right. Yes, and I got a final note here to talk about the fact that I am making the group workshops, which we've already talked about because we got the first one coming in July. So we are doing rock and roll. All right. Which brings us to tonight's topic, doesn't it? So let's go ahead and check and see what I got going on here before I just start rambling on about the topic. By the way, I actually got some sleep, so I'm pretty freaking hyper here. see, happy good Sunday, happy Sunday. Yes. 100th, happy 100th episode. Yeah, can you freaking believe it? I think we might be a little over 100 episodes because we had the me and Linda version of Coffee Hour, and we started recounting when it was solo Coffee Hour. But the fact that I've been doing 100 episodes of solo Coffee Hour, and you guys have enjoyed it, and just it baffles me. It really does, to see how far we've come. And to realize we're on our 100th episode, that is freaking amazing. I'm so excited. Thank you very much, Anthony. I am doing good. I'm doing good, Saeed. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well. July. Yes. July. July. If I said June back there, I apologize. I meant July because time has been it's been a blur to me. It's been crazy. Which it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You ready for some crazy? You think 100 episodes is awesome? Get this. This week is going to be a very busy week for me on the first half because it is front loaded all with work. I got to really crank out some work because this weekend I celebrate my 22-year wedding anniversary. 22 years that this woman has put up with me. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. And she still absolutely adores me. I did something right, apparently. So, yeah, I'm happy. So I got to front load the work and then back load the spoiling the living tar out of Mrs. Working Dragon Mystic. Yeah. All right. So that's another thing going on this week. So if you can, save up the $10 for the workshops. All these workshops from now in future will be around $15. This first one's going to be $10. I want to keep them super, super affordable because even when we cycle around to the same topic, there's always going to be something new to learn because the way the setup is, there's going to be presentation and a Q&A. So there's always going to be new things to learn. And if you wanted to take them, I want them to be available. And I ain't about this whole $100 workshop, $300 workshop kind of crap. I ain't doing that. You know me, I keep it affordable, I keep it simple, I keep it common folk. Because I believe if I believe in magic can do what it can do, making it available to the everyday person should be more than sufficient. So yeah, $10 for the first one, which I will be releasing a short video to let you all know when it's live. So make sure you got your notifications turned on here on the channel. I will be announcing it in the Gilded also. Dragon of the West, good to see you. What was the topic for this first group teaching? The topic will be keeping a research journal and actually doing metaphysical research. So, as many of you know, one of the biggest things I talk about is the journal and research and actual reliable data in magic. Now, with this, the whole part of this particular first workshop is to build on that very foundation so that we got that foundation before we move forward, right? So I'm actually going to go over methods to actually setting up and outlining a research journal, the kind of data you want to put in your research journal, the methodology of collecting that data and in which to present it, and to gather your percentiles. I'm also going to talk about how to approach metaphysical research in a manifestation or data perceptive, not a faith or I believe this perceptive. Because if you just have faith or believe it, you don't need the data, do you? So that's two completely separate things. And we are going to be going very in depth into that during the presentation. Then there will be a Q&A after the presentation. So if you're taking notes and everything, I can answer your questions further. So that we can take the information and the learning even further through the Q&A. That's one reason we're keeping the seats to 20, so I can at least get to everybody once with a question. Hope everyone's well. Everything done. There's the link. And congrats to both of you. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Drake. No problem, Jedi. I don't really know what I did, but you're welcome. You would be about to speak to magicians who want to practice magic without tools. Go right ahead. I really don't use tools. I don't know if the video is live or if it's coming up soon, but I actually have a video that talks about dragons and tools and how dragons really don't give a shit. Tools are just that. They're tools. They're not a requirement. And if you don't want to use tools, don't. I'm a big believer in tools are a crutch. And if a magician truly wants to seek self-mastery, they need to learn to control the energies and manipulate the energies without the tools. Because if you take the tools away from a lot of magicians, they can't do squat. That's not power. That's not power. That's not self-empowerment at all. There are certain paths and practices where the tool is necessary at the beginning, like in Dragon Magic, the Dragon Staff, which you'll see behind me over here, mine. It serves a very important purpose, but in the higher ends of Dragon Magic later on, ideally you're going to be able to handle the energies by yourself. It's very dangerous early, but later on you should be able to handle it by yourself. And Anthony, wow, thank you for the super chat, my man. Mugs up to you. And so your question is, thank you for everything you do. You made a big positive change for me and my family. Happy 100th. Mugs up. Well, that's not a question. That's just a freaking super chat. Mugs up to you, my man. Mugs up. And thank you so very much. I'm glad I was able to positively impact you and your family. Mugs up. Thank you very much. And I'm caught up. Cool. All right. So tonight's topic, how do we know we're doing it right? Now, I chose this topic on all the topics you all gave us because I did tell you we're going to try once a month to do a topic-focused live stream. And you guys love this concept. And when I asked you guys to give me ideals, and we did indeed set up a little place in the Gilded area where you can give us ideals. Also, if you're not in the Gilded, you can post it below any of the live streams to give us ideals as well, just so you know. You guys gave us a lot of topics, and it was amazing. And those topics are being gathered, and we will be working toward those. So thank you very much. It is so good to see you guys proactive in this. But one of the ones that really hit me and actually did just kind of feel like that's really where we should start. And it really somehow fit that it was for the 100th episode too. Because here we are, 100 episodes. How do we know we're doing it right? And this really depends on your approach. It really does. First off, if we're spiritual or faith-based in practice, honestly, that's harder because if your spirituality is checking the boxes that is your spirituality, or your faith is feeling groovy, you're doing it right. End of story. That's pretty easy. But if you're more like me and you don't really do spirituality or faith because it's too just random and it's just not tangible enough for you to hold on to. Now, again, I've said many times on this channel, there's nothing wrong with spirituality. There's nothing wrong with faith. They help many, 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 many people. If anything, I would say I'm the problem because I can't do them. But let's say you're in the same boat I am. Then the question is, how do I know I'm doing it right? This is actually where manifestations and data really start coming in. But it's not just say, are you getting the manifestations? That's a short, stupid cop-out answer if you ask me. I mean, it is technically a true answer, but it's also a cop-out. 91, hey, welcome. Mugs up to you, all the way from Portugal, huh? I'm glad you could join us. Here's the thing. First off, we need to ask ourselves, why are we pursuing this path? What are our goals? What is it we're trying to achieve? Now, if you are trying to achieve kind of an inner peace, kind of a balance, kind of inner groovy karmicness, lower your stress, you could very easily go deep and heavy into a meditative style practice, and you could lower your stress, get that kind of Zen balance going on with yourself, and you could be fine. And as soon as you get that calm, relaxing states and everything, you're good. You're good. And the results that you're seeking are manifesting. You're doing it right. Now, here's the thing. If you are doing something where you are trying to achieve and reach goals within the physical realm that are physically tangible, like let's just put me on blast right now. When I got into this, honestly and truly, many of you know I left the church for different reasons. I wasn't seeing the results of my faith that I felt I should see. So when I was looking for a new path, those were kind of my benchmarks. Those really were. And one of those benchmarks, hands down, I'm not ashamed to admit it, there was the moolah. I spent a great time of my life living in the negatives. I really did. I had to pay bills I didn't have money for. And that's just how it was. So prosperity and finance became key cornerstone things that I wanted to see manifest through whatever path I chose, whatever path I decided to pursue. And I began to pursue it. Now, many of you know, I originally went down the Wiccan road, and it did not really manifest a whole hell of a lot for me. Again, real heavy on that spiritual side. Emotionally, mentally, it gave me kind of a spiritual fulfillment. But I had that from the church. So I was kind of left in the same boat. And that's when I started focusing on magic as a result to manifestation. And I started collecting data on those manifestations. Now, this is really where the rubber met the road for me personally, because I could measure this. I could collect the data. I could measure. I could see the tangible results of it. But it also allowed me to tweak things and see if different things would work when other things wouldn't. And this is, again, the reason I preach the whole journal concept so much. And hands down, one thing I've learned throughout the years as a magician, there is not one true way. There is not one true path. There is not one way up the mountain. There is not one way to do a spell. But that doesn't mean all ways work for all people. No, they don't. That's why I try to teach a framework and a mentality of research, experiment, trial, and error, because that allows us to find what works. And when you're doing it right, what that means is you're doing it right for you. Well, that's when you start manifesting things. That's when you start seeing results that you want to see. Now, we also have to keep our results reasonable, because I get emails daily of someone who wants to be the richest man in the world overnight. Ain't going to happen. I've never seen a spell on earth that can do that. I constantly get emails about, I want to sell my soul for, enter random stupid request here. There's a reason I did the series on packs debunking the fact that you sell your soul for whatever it is you want. Packs don't work that way. They have nothing to do with selling your soul. In fact, selling your soul don't actually do anything. No one wants your soul. Your soul has no value to any entity throughout the multiverse for any reason. The only value it has is to you. You can't sell it. Sorry. But when we start putting up this framework and we understand these concepts and we start paying attention to the manifestations and paying attention to the results and paying attention to why are we here to begin with, then that allows us to actually be able to start gauging progress. And it is through the progress that we actually know we're doing it right. I cannot count. If I sit here all night and counted 1, 2, 3, 4, uninterrupted, I could not count the number of high priests and priestesses who couldn't manifest enough for a Starbucks, much less pay their bills in money. They claim the title. Oh, they got the documents. Oh, they took the classes. But when it comes to actually doing the work and actually manifesting a result, they can't do it. Don't ask them. They're not going to do it. And they fall back on excuses like, well, it's not in my greater good. Well, it's not. No, if magic is magic and magic is about self-mastery has nothing to do with the greater good or the higher powers don't believe this is right for me. Because either you're in control of your path or you're not. Which is it? Me personally, I believe if I'm in control of my path, I'm in control of my path. And if something doesn't happen, it's Drake's fault. It's my fault, Drake. Drake, you fucked it up. And I hold myself to account. I look at what I did. I measure it. I figure it out. I retweak it. I redesign the spell working. I redesign the ritual, and I try again. Now, it may take time. It may take progress, but I will get to where I'm going. Yeah. And that is really how we know if what we're doing is correct. Correct is not a matter of 1 + 1 = 2. It would be really nice, but since there's so many ways to get to the same location instead of 1 + 1 = 2, it's like if you open a map of the United States, pick any city in the United States, put your thumbtack there, and then randomly pick any other spot on the map, any other spot. There's going to be more than one road, more than one route to get you between the two points. Practically infinite, depending on how much time you want to spend driving around. And honestly, our craft is the same way. There's so many different routes. And the shortest distance between 2 points is not always the best. Because sometimes you can reach a goal without having the wisdom to actually know what to do with it. And that could actually get you in trouble, can it? All right. So we got a few here. I've done spirituality, not real results. Now see if something else might work. GK, hey, hopefully you found the place. Hopefully I can give you some information and framework that you can start getting some results. In fact, I would encourage you, in fact, to sign up for the workshop coming in on July 1st. What about when we do magic, but things get messy around us, like cleansing work, and accidents happen around us? Is it backfiring? Okay, here's an interesting thing. People want to talk about backlash and backfiring. Okay, in all honesty, except for the concept of manipulating free will, backlash is ultimately bogus. Here's the kicker. Now, when we put forth a change in the world, change has to happen. Things have to get moved around, okay? So think of it like this. If I want to clean my house, or you want to clean your house, let's say it's even after a big old party. Imagine trying to clean your house without moving a single object in your house. So if you don't move anything at all, it's impossible to clean your house because everything stays exactly the same. Nothing changes. So if we do a spell to create manifestations of one kind to change our life, to help bring prosperity, that magic, that spell is going to begin to manipulate and move things around in our life to get us toward the direction of the goal in which we seek. This is why we, have to work on it in the physical realm, and the energy is doing its job. We can actually get in the way of its energy. Now, I have seen a lot of things happen, and it gets really chaotic. And the more we fight it, the more chaotic it gets. So if things starts going haywire and crazy, there's a very good chance you're fighting it. Or the change you're asking for is so drastic, it has to basically uproot everything and resituate it and start over. This is actually pretty normal. This is why a lot of people say when you're first starting out, don't overshoot your magic because you might just get it. That old additive, be careful what you wish for, you might just get it. It's true. I have seen people lose their jobs and their homes and friendships because they asked for a very specific financial need or desire. It wasn't really a need. They wanted way above what they needed. They wanted way above that. And they lost their friends. They lost their home. They lost their job. They were forced to move to a new state where they got a job. They made new friends. And, oh, wait, the bank account suddenly matches what they wanted. But they wanted this bank account, but they didn't want to give up everything else. But see, that's the kicker. If you overreach, you can actually stir it up chaotically in order to get you to where you're going. It is possible to roughly stay where we're at and build up slowly. But if you want those drastic, quick changes, it's going to uproot, period. It's going to uproot and transplant. And you also have to be willing to work with it. And the more you fight it, the worse it can get. And I'll be honest with you, through my prosperity work, there's a lot of things that have happened in my life that I never thought would even freaking remotely be possible. If you all ever thought that I thought in my lifetime I'd be some kind of YouTube influencer, professional magician of any kind. Y'all crazy. Because I'll be honest, I still see myself as some crazy old Southern boy who, I don't really view myself as all that important. That's why I always promise I'll get up here, I'll be honest, I'll tell you what I got based on that. And if something changes, I will also let you know that it changes, and I have no problems to let y'all know I was wrong. But I will, at least, the very least, always treat y'all straight and deal straight with it. Halloween, it's good to see you. Glad you can make it tonight. Oops. So those are things that we will experience in our path and in our practice. It is very normal. When it comes to cleansing energy, it really depends. There's no hard rule. I would say grounding and shielding, that's important. But for example, let's say we're looking at the Dragon's Flame ritual. The Dragon's Flame ritual and even the Lesser Banishing ritual of the pentagram are two good rituals where I've seen a lot of people say you absolutely have to cleanse afterwards. No, you don't. Think about the ritual. Look at the actual wording in the ritual. In the Dragon's Flame ritual, it says cleanse, protect, and empower. If you are doing that ritual daily, your house is already being programmed to the energy and the focus and the manifestations and the ideals that you want, that you're driving forward. And if you make use of that, no problem. Now, let's say you were to do this ritual and then you were to go around and cleanse it. Okay, so you just spent your whole ritual time setting the energy in your life to exactly where you want it, and then you go through and you decide after closing you want to cleanse the energy. You literally just undone everything you just done. That's like spending 4 hours to bake a cheesecake and then just throwing it in the garbage. And I don't know about y'all, but anybody who spends 4 hours cooking a cheesecake and then just tosses in the garbage, that's just evil. They need to be jailed. That's not right. Cheesecake is amazing. We don't do that. So you have to be careful there. And cleansing energy is not going to help you forego change. If you're doing work to seek a change in your life, it's going to do it. Now, if things get chaotic while doing a cleansing, I've also seen this happen. That's not unheard of, because a person can become so used to a certain energy pattern, no matter how chaotic or toxic that energy pattern is, that if you take them and put them in a calm or balanced energy area, their whole life, their whole understanding, a concept just gets all kerbobbled. They don't know what's going on no more. And that can be a problem too. This is why one of the key components of any real metaphysical practice, again, is that foundation of manifestation. Or not manifestation, that foundation of meditation. We need to understand we are in charge of the energy. We are in charge of that energy. We master that energy. We control the energy in our lives, not the entities, not the moon, not the stars, not any other random thing we want to blame, not Mercury retrograde. Oh my God, I'm so tired of hearing about that. Not a super moon, not a red moon, not a blue moon, not a pink moon, not a flower moon, not a wolf moon. None of this is in charge of your life. You are in charge of your life. If you yield control and power to your life, that's still a choice you make. And just like when we jump into a pool, okay? Here's a good example. This is one a teacher of mine told me. It's hot. You're dying of heat. You're sweating. Oh, dear God, you can't catch your breath. It's summer. You want to get in the pool, don't you? Well, you jump in the pool. You just dive in. You hit the water. Whoo! Oh, dear God, I can't breathe for half a second. The water's freaking cold. Minute later, you're perfectly fine. You're having a big old time in the pool. The water doesn't feel cold at all. You even have to duck under because you're still getting hot from the sun beating down on you. You have to adjust to the environment you're in. The same thing works with energy. If you go to cleansing your apartment, you go to cleansing your house, and you have been steeping yourself in chaotic, toxic energies or whatnot, and you suddenly just change that energy, you just jumped in the pool. You're going to have to adjust to the new norm. And until you make that adjustment, it's going to be just like that whole minute where your teeth are chattering, you're having trouble catching your breath, and you're thinking, oh, dear God, why did I jump in here? It's cold. It's the same concept. Anytime we alter our comfort zone, and yes, even a bad situation can be a comfort zone. We've all seen it. We know friends who've been in bad relationships, all kinds of crap, or just habitually making bad choices. It's a comfort zone. I mean, hell, let's look at my fat butt. I have realized I was an emotional eater in my past, and that's the reason I blew up like the Goodyear blimp. Okay, that's a comfort zone, but if I want to work on my health, I have to move outside my comfort zone and do different. And because of that, I have, over the last 6 months, lost a great deal of weight. Many of you have seen it. I'm looking a little better. Okay, my goatee is a little scraggly right now, but minus the goatee problem. That change of environment can actually affect us. Does that make some sense? I hope so. I know that's a little bit of a rant. Let's see. AJ wants to know if dragons can help with balance of self or environment. Yeah, actually they can. AJ, in fact, the Dragon's Flame ritual is actually great for that. You can do that ritual and meditate on balance of self and environment. That ritual alone could accomplish that. I would suggest going further, personally, because though balance can take pretty much anyone's current situation in life and make it better, I do find balancing those things and seeking to progress is always better. Because sometimes balancing out a situation, even though you can live in peace and harmony, it could still be a rough road for you and your family. So I always encourage someone to try and improve their station daily. But yes, they could do that, AJ. Lindsay, wow, this is true. Hey, Lindsay, glad you could join us. Are dragons the strongest force that one can work with? Arthur, the fact that you're asking that question, here's the thing. When we think about entities and we think about what entity's stronger, we've got the wrong ideal entirely. Dragons have a responsibility to the balance within the multiverse. They are allied with, to my knowledge at this point, every entity I've ever worked with are allied with dragons. All those entities have a great respect for dragons. But that allyship, that trust is built on certain agreements. This doesn't necessarily make a singular entity the most powerful entity in existence. And this is a very human concept. It really is. I mean, our marketing functions like this. Heck, our video games function like this. Look at Pokemon. We evolve them to get stronger. So it's a very human nature kind of concept. But entities do not actually have this concept. Practically any entity out there has the ability to work with you in different areas and can really get you anywhere you're wanting to go. Now, does that mean all entities are equal in all areas? No. So, for example, Azazel. Azazel is a wonderful entity, as is Belial. Belial's very big on freedom and breaking chains and all that. Azazel's very big on that too. But Azazel's more focused on self-mastery and self-sufficiency and teaching and pushing your boundaries. So even though they overlap, they do have a bit more of a specialty in areas. That doesn't mean that you couldn't just work with one and go as far as you want to go. You could. Same thing with Odin or Aphrodite or any of these. They have a specialty which they can get you to where you're going quicker, but they're not limited to only that specialty. And dragons are in the same category. Their primary focus across the board, regardless of the dragon we're talking about, is multiversal balance. And because of this, all the entities they're allied with knows not to screw with the balance. And as long as the balance ain't screwed with, the dragons don't screw with them. So no, there's not a singular entity that is the most powerful entity in the multiverse, nor is there a singular group or type of entity that would fit that category. There are entities, due to their positions, due to their charges in the multiverse, that gives them, we would say, certain perks within their territories. And then there's always what's called home ground advantage. So if any entity in the multiverse was to challenge a dragon within the dragon realms, it's going to lose. But then again, if any entity, including a dragon, was to challenge, say, Odin in Asgard, it would lose. Any entity who challenged Mab or Tatiana in the Feywilds would lose. See what I'm saying? That home realm advantage. So these kind of factors matter. It's not as clear cut as who's the most powerful. That's the one reason I don't really limit myself to one singular entity. I love to work and meet with different entities and make different friends and allies. There's always a different way up the mountain. So let's see here what we got. Hermetic. Well, we jumped. Crap, we jumped. Okay, that's okay. Let's see. Dragon, how do I deal with homesickness? I really don't get homesick. I'm an individual who, by and large, I really didn't have a childhood. I'll be honest with you. I can't say I had the best of families or in general childhood. I've spent most of my life mobile. I moved around a lot. And as many of you know, we still move a lot due to my wife's work. And I actually enjoy the work. I don't really get homesick. It's not something I've ever had to personally deal with. Let's see here. Did I miss something? Yeah, Lucifer is he fits into the category of entities that makes up angels and demons, because though we label them differently, they are the same beings. And Yahweh is viewed as a deity, though, I mean, there is a blurred line between deity and angels and demons. Many angels and demons are indeed worshipped as deities, and that's perfectly fine. But Lucifer is not a dragon. He can take on the aspect of a dragon. He can take on the form of a dragon, but that does not make him a full dragon, if that makes sense. The dragons draw a hard line between that. They don't mind dragon symbolism. They don't mind that at all. But yeah, Lucifer is not a dragon. Great guy to work with, though. Absolutely a wonderful guy. Jan Evans. What methods do you use to manifest? Do you just do evocation, or do you candle magic? Okay, what methods do I use to do magic manifestation? It depends on what I'm doing, honestly. So, for example, I do love evocation. I find evocation fun. It's not the only thing I use. In fact, there's a lot of magic I do where I don't want to bother entities. They got better things to do than worry about me. And at the same time, to be honest, when I'm trying to manifest something, I try to rely on me first. So I actually do love sigil magic, candle magic, rune magic, and stuff like that. As well as astral work for manifestation. I enjoy all these. And in fact, if you go check out the prosperity spell on this channel, Jan, that is actually the spell that I used to build me and my wife's prosperity over the years, that's got us from being negative on everything monthly to where we're at today. It is a candle spell. And I still swear by that spell. That is still one of the best prosperity spells I know. And I use it and I teach it to my students. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to share it so much with you all, because let's be honest, a little bit of prosperity goes a long way for everyone. And if we can continue to grow that through our lives, all the better. But no amount of magic is going to fix stupid. So, if you build your prosperity and keep building what you spend so you stay in the negative, well, that's on you. That's not on the magic. But I do use different methods. I love different methods. I don't ever want to find a comfort zone and just stay there, because then you become complacent. And when you become complacent, you become comfortable, and you become lazy, and you become weak. And that's just not me. I love to try new things. I'm always pushing myself further. And I also teach that the foundation and the three arcane pillars, the foundation being meditation, the three arcane pillars being divination, evocation, and journey work, are critical. The dragons teach this, and I have found this to be true. I have tested this time and time again, and I've never found it to prove untrue. And within those three pillars, you will find candle magic, sigil magic, rune magic, herbalism. All these different things still function within these pillars in some shape, form, or fashion. One should never over specialize. When you over specialize, yes, you're really good at this one thing. This one thing. But that means everything else is just one giant weakness. And that leaves you vulnerable. And for me personally, as someone who grew up playing poker, chess, and spent a lot of time in martial arts, having one specialty and a completely wide open, non-defended everything else is just a bad idea. Just a bad idea. So yeah, I use multiple things, Jan, and I would actually suggest everyone do it. I'm a big proponent in never over specializing. Your Akashic record don't need protected, Arthur. It does not need protected. Your Akashic record is your Akashic record. It's kind of that simple. And there's no need to protect it. Halloween, I've been trying to answer as I see them in case they get missed. Thank you, Halloween. I appreciate it, because Lord knows it jumps around a lot, especially when we get busy. And we have 30 wonderful people in here. 23 likes. If you're one of the people in here who are listening to this crazy Southern Mage tonight, give me a thumbs up. Let's see, I'm the same. I've never been able to think of a place as a home. It's weird, because home is wherever the hell I am. My wife genuinely asked me when she got her current job if I would mind the moving. I told her no. I love it. Every time we move, first off, moving the hassle, I'll admit. I spent my whole life moving. The biggest thing about now is I'm not the pack mule, which I'm not going to lie, I enjoy that. The ability that they won't let me touch shit. So the fact that I'm required to stand back, drink coffee while they pack, I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love that. But it is still a hassle, but I love seeing new places. I love trying new things. And though it is true, I've been to 48 states in my lifetime, and I have enjoyed them for different reasons in different places. I love meeting people. I love trying new foods. I'm truly a believer you can understand a lot about a people by their food and what they take pride in. But even if you spend like a month visiting a place, you don't truly get to know it. So the ability to now move and spend 3 or 4 years in a place and really get to know it familiarly, truly familiar, I absolutely adore it. In fact, we're at that point in our lives where we're talking about, where the crap are we actually going to settle down and retire? And that is always an interesting discussion for us, because there's so many places we love. And we can't really just go on what we love, because there's too freaking many of them. So we have to add new things in there to try and narrow down where we might actually try to settle down. And I won't lie, there's been a time or two we've considered buying an RV and just being mobile the whole time. But that would also make currently what I do a little more difficult. So that kind of doesn't work as well. And she has, my wife actually has plans for what she refers to as a retirement career, where she's going to school and plans to do something she enjoys, even in retirement. Because neither one of us are the kind of people that could retire and do nothing. We would drive ourselves insane. I have to stay busy. Any of y'all in the Gilded knows this. I even have trouble on my supposed day off of actually taking a day off. But yeah, it's just one of those weird things. But because of that, wherever I'm at, I make the best of where I'm at. I'm very happy. I've had times where I've had to live in a freaking pickup due to work or whatever. Um, but you know what? I've learned life is going to knock us down. The key is we got to find how to be happy with ourselves and to make the best of the situation we got. And when we figure that out, we're miles ahead of the rest, and self mastery in a sense becomes even easier. Hello, Drake, and everybody. Are there any specific ways you would recommend using silver in magical practices? Silver is great for lunar magic as well as purification magic. I also seem to find it really, really good at just general energetic channeling. It seems to work really well in that. Not, I mean, you can also find like brass and copper work really well in that as well. But silver does really work really well in nocturnal energies, lunar magics, and stuff like that. Um, I personally don't keep a lot of silver on hand for various reasons, but I have found in the past that it does work really well for that. I used to have a silver pentacle, which I gifted to a student some years ago because I wasn't using it as much as I had in the past. But that would be an option. And certain dragons do enjoy silver. But it is a pretty good conduit. But at the same time, so is gold. Gold's a pretty great conduit too. These days, I'll be honest, I use stainless steel or steel for most of my magics. Um, where would candle magic fit in the dragon triad? Candle magic actually fits within the closer toward the center of the pillars. When you look at the arcane pillars, the pillars utilize different aspects and they do overlap. Now, when we are talking about candle magic, we are actually trying to call forth and summon something to us, while at the same time we are trying to visualize it from our current spot to something in the future. So we are actually utilizing a little bit of the meditation foundation as well as divinations as well as evocation. Evocation is more than just summoning an entity. Evocation is the ability to summon pretty much anything, which is something we're going to touch on deeply in the evocation course. So anytime we manifest something physical, we are tapping somewhat into evocation, just not on the entity side of that particular word. Um, so if you're talking about doing a candle spell, for example, where you set your spell up, you dress the candle, you charge the candle, you light the candle, then you're gazing into this candle and you're seeing what it is you're trying to manifest and you're charging that and you're putting all your intent to that singular vision. That is utilizing both divinations and evocation to draw that toward you to manifest it. Are there any ways of developing the astral body or light body? Okay, Hermetic. This is actually going to be something I might get in trouble for saying, but here's the kicker. Your astral body, your light body, they don't need developed. They exist from the day you're born. The question is, can you develop your arcane senses and can you develop the ability to do journey work? That's it. That is it. Those two things, both your astral body and your light body, which, by the way, are in general the same, they exist. You don't have to develop them. When we talk about developing them, we're actually talking about developing the ability to perceive them, to see it, and that is our arcane senses. To which I would point you toward the videos that I got on the arcane senses. And if you haven't gone over to workingdragonmystic.com and clicked on the courses list, I have an absolutely free, no strings attached arcane sight class, and that class can actually be utilized to develop the other senses, which we have exercises in the arcane senses video here on the channel also that can help you with that. And those will help you to perceive both of those. And then, yeah, it's just a case of working on your journey work. It is actually kind of that simple. I know there's a lot of occultists out there who try to make this more complicated. And I've been asked why, and I don't know why they try to make it more complicated. I do find it interesting. They try to overcomplicate it, and then they try to have a $400 or $500 membership or some kind of class or workshops, or even worse, in my opinion, you have to sign up and join their coven, follow their rules, and do everything their leader says in order to learn it, and they just kind of divvy it out piece by piece. That feels a little too cultish to me. I'm not a big fan of that. But I admit that could just be my perception against giving up my free will. That could be. But it's still not that difficult. So I would check those out, Hermetic. Let's see. Oh, Halloween's throwing clocks at me. Jade, what? No clocks, Jade? I almost feel cheated. Jade didn't throw no clocks at me, people. It did, Jedi. I mean, she's throwing clocks at me. I looked up, and you're right. It really did. But that's okay. That is okay. By the way, I should actually, I totally need to say this. Jade, we still have 4 minutes. Oh, good to know. So, one of my favorite coffee companies, which I don't really talk about, the exact coffees I drink often. Iron Bean Coffee Company, veteran owned, by the way. Love these guys. But they make great coffees, okay? They really do. And they just recently released a new blend called Say Hello to My Little Friend. Okay, newsflash, in case y'all don't know, I'm an Al Pacino fan. I love The Godfather. I love Scarface. He done a lot of great stuff. I won't lie. They sent me the email. That day, I ordered it. If you like Colombian coffee, particularly this is a dark roast Colombian, which I like Colombian, but I usually don't drink it because it's more medium roast. I'm addicted to this stuff. This stuff is amazing. So if you like a Colombian coffee and you like dark roast, go over to Iron Bean, check them out. Order some of this hello and say hello to my little friend. Also, just so my wife don't whack me in the back of the head, check out their Skulls of My Enemies. That's usually our go-to blend, and we absolutely adore it. We have that on subscription. Now, just so y'all know, I ain't getting paid to tell y'all this. It's really good coffee. And seriously, the name of the coffee, any of y'all who's Al Pacino fans or Scarface fans, you're going to love it. So I just had to share it because I'm seriously enjoying the crap out of this stuff. So now that's to say, hey, Iron Bean, if you want to sponsor me, I'm here. Give me a call. We'll do some stuff. Seriously, they ain't sponsoring me, but if they will, we like coffee here. All right, let's see. You're something. Take care, guys. Take care, Star. Good. Glad you can make it. Great conversation. We have had some amazing questions tonight. I'll admit most of them wasn't necessarily on topic, but I'm just going to take that as apparently my crazy ass did a good job at just explaining the topic. I hope that's it. Okay. But do remember, I will be posting a video this week about the workshop going live. Tier 2, Tier 3 members, you will get at least 24 hours early notice because you guys support me regardless of what I do. And I appreciate that so much. Your support is much appreciated. Thank you. That said, Tuesday, I do believe, for those of you who've been asking, we finally have the Kitchen Witch ribs video coming out, which, considering we are officially in full grill season, I think that's appropriate. But again, this particular video utilizes the oven. It utilizes the oven for everyone. So if you ain't got a grill, don't worry. You can still make great use of this video. We make it very simple for anyone. I had a lot of fun doing this. Of course, I also got to eat the ribs, so that's also a perk. And I look forward to hearing your all's comments as to other things kitchen witchery-wise that you all want to see. Please let me know. I will try to do them. This has been a series I've enjoyed, and I know many of you all have enjoyed as well. utilizing your standard kitchen spices, herbs, and the likes in order to manifest magic in your lives. That's something I mean, I've always enjoyed, and it's so great to see many of my viewers are enjoying as well. Final note, though, something I forgot. I have had a request to do more videos on cryptids, and more specifically, some of my field research on cryptids. Some of y'all know I've spent a lot of time crisscrossing the U.S. doing stupid things, researching things and whatnot, and potentially sharing information on cryptids and maybe some of the investigations. To be honest with you, I'd kind of like to do those. I don't know if I'll do them justice, but we will we'll pull a few files, see what we can do. If you have a cryptid that you would like us to cover, drop it in the comments below. Let us know. In order to see if these are videos that would actually be something y'all want us to see long term. We would like to know what your interest is so that when we start to film them, we start out doing some stuff that you would like to see. Some of the things I would consider doing is maybe Mothman, the Rougarou, Bigfoot, Skunk Ape, Hellhounds, stuff like that. I've got a lot of research on all those. So if any of those interest you, let me know below. Or if there's one out there that you I'm not listed, again, let me know. All right, everybody, you have a fantastic evening. I will see you next week. And damn. Keep up the work, keep up the progress, keep your journals. And day by day, keep working to do a little bit better. Believe me, it will be worth it in the long run. And until next week, take care. Good night. Bye-bye.